So the oldest man to live in Mpumalanga comes from the small village of Luphisi, and he's being laid to rest today. The 98-year-old, whose name is Josiah Nkosi, was not only popular for being the eldest man in the village, but he has 3 wives, and listen to this, 37 children, 84 grandchildren, and 78 great-grandchildren. Newzroom Afrika's Mweli Masilela is following the story for us. He's live to us there from Luphisi. And Mweli, a man who's lived a life like this can only be celebrated on a day like today. His family alone, I imagine, would make for good company.
Yes, indeed, I can tell you that it didn't look like a funeral. In fact, as I saw him being laid to rest early this morning, it was kind of a celebration because most of the people who attended this funeral actually followed in terms of what it was his wishes. They were dancing. It was traditional songs as well as traditional dances, as he was known to be a very cultural person who was keen in ensuring that people preserve their culture and traditions as well as their customs. So, as you have rightly put it, Ayanda, this is a man that had 37 children, 84 grandchildren, and 78 great-grandchildren. And I'm sure you've also not heard of such a person here in the country, and that is why this story is interesting. But looking on the side of the people he has left behind, as much as they celebrated his life, they are saying that they've lost a giant in Ubaba Josiah Nkosi, because he did not only mentor young people in as far as traditional dances as well as traditional songs and customs are concerned, but actually he supported locals in as far as business is concerned in this community. I spoke to one man earlier. He actually told me that he's now owning a home or a house as well as 9 cars because of the mentorship he received from this man. So that is why many people here in the village are saying that they've actually lost a giant, and they will try by all means to try and keep his legacy alive, not that legacy of having many children. And there are some of them people here are saying that that's not paramount on their side, but the knowledge that he has imparted to young people as well as other elderly people in this community, that is how they are going to remember him, and they'll make sure that they do their best to ensure that they support other community members, as that is something that was very close to his heart, Ayanda.
Can you imagine having 36 siblings? I mean, really, I wonder if you got an opportunity to speak to any of the family members, the children, the great-grandchildren, the wives perhaps, and whether they've been able to describe what it feels like to be part of such a huge family.
Yes, and as you all know, in our culture, during a time like this, the family members will normally ask to be given space to actually allow all the processes to be finished and done. So we are hoping that at least we'll get a few family members here to talk to, especially his children and grandchildren. But on the side of his wives, I doubt that we will get an opportunity in as far as that side is concerned, because I actually saw them when he was laid to rest early this morning. Actually, all the 3 of them are quite emotional, and we know that also in total it was 4 wives. He lost the other wife just a few years ago, so only 3 were left behind. But the family members here, the elderly family members, they have promised that we'll get at least some comment from at least 1 or 2 of his children, as well as some of the grandchildren. And as we are saying, it will be interesting to hear from their side as to how has life been living in such a huge family, because this is a man, according to community members, that didn't only belong to the family, but he was also selfless, trying to ensure that everyone in this community is attended to, because we know that he has been a headman and induna here in this village for 25 years. So that is why, if you can even see now, there's still a lot of people that attended his funeral. In fact, this small village came to a standstill because this is a man, they believe that he should be given that dignified funeral. That is why, and you are seeing as many people attending this funeral today.
Yep, certainly not your everyday kind of story. Mweli Masilela, thanks very much indeed. Mweli's live to us there from Mpumalanga at Luphisi village. And in case you missed it, he's there for the funeral service of the eldest man to ever live in that village. Listen to these numbers. Josiah Nkosi, we're told, is 98 years old. And during his time on this earth, he's managed to father 37 children, married 4 wives. That resulted in 84 grandchildren, 78 great-grandchildren. I thought my family was large. I sit humbly before you today to say clearly I hadn't seen anything at all. This is great perspective. Once again, Mweli, thanks very much indeed.